All right. Welcome to another episode. And today we got Mike here, one of our partners here at Chicho's, and I'll let him do a little introduction for himself. But thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. And we're really going to dig into these guys' story here and how they kind of met and how it's kind of grown to where we are today. So without further ado, Mike, you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Hello, Mike Crockford.
Nice. Awesome.
Been in the food industry pretty much my whole life. Since I was 13, I've been working at a company called Mobile Pig-Nic, and started cooking, washing dishes, and worked my way up, and eventually became the owner of it.
Yeah.
I've known Louie since Brandon Junior High School, probably 7th grade.
Yeah.
So we've had a friendship connection. His brother, I knew him real well as also. Kind of hung out more with his younger brother after school more than I did him because I was dating a girl at Rodney's age.
All right.
But I still hung out with Louie. You know, we still kept in touch. He went to ODU. We always went, down there and hung out as well. And pretty much I'm in the food industry, so, I've always kept in touch with everybody. Everybody is needing food at some point, having an event, having a party, and the phone rings and I answer.
Nice. Nice. All right.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, how Mike and I got together. So there was an opportunity to take over the restaurant at VB National. And I'd been playing golf there for quite a while, and the golf management company approached me and wanted to know if I wanted to take over the restaurant space after the previous restaurant's contract ended up. And, I said no in the very beginning because it did not fit my business model with, the Chicho's brand. This is more of a venue space, more of a catering, concept. Special events. And so they approached me a second time, and then I said, okay, let me think about it. And
this was 2018?
This was 2017.
2017, yeah.
Yeah, 2017. So then I just went through Facebook and just went through and said, who do I know in this space? And all of a sudden I see Mobile Pig-Nic Catering. And it was Mike's company. He had been working there since he was a teenager, bought it from the founder, and has done quite well with the catering company. And I basically called him and I said, hey, what are you doing? Are you looking to grow your brand? And, fortunately, he was at that time of his life that, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think he was at a point where I think he had mastered his...
I was bored.
He was bored. He was mastered his, a company and
craft.
Was looking for something to do, and the stars kind of aligned, and we ended up structuring a deal that summer of 2017, and we took over Halloween that October.
Yep.
I remember. And we're actually filming this episode in BBN right now in one of the rooms.
Yeah.
The back rooms.
Yeah, that was interesting because I was sitting around, what can I do? I need a new challenge.
Interesting.
I have faith. I was praying, and Louie called.
Yeah, it's a weird...
He answered my prayer.
Wow, how the universe...
And here we are.
Connects. Yeah.
Well,
So, and basically the end of October, beginning of November 2017, we took over the operations of VBN, which led us into structuring and trying to expand the Pig Shop brand that we have, which is our restaurant for Mobile Pig-Nic.
Mm-hmm.
So we added that over to Shore Drive. And being over at Shore Drive, I was just aware of the operation of Chicho's, and I kind of kept my eye on it. And I thought I could be beneficial to this brand. So I, communicated with Louie and told him I'd like to be a part of Shore Drive.
that was your first location when you first got involved?
Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we didn't have the right management in there, and I was just cringing watching the management there. And I approached them, and I felt beneficial. I could fix the place. I could help out. And especially with the brand back then, I think we had 4 stores, 3 stores, 3. It was Greenbrier.
4, no, yeah.
It was 29 Greenbrier,
Strawbridge,
and then
Hickory, and then
Hickory,
we
yeah.
opened up Shore Drive.
Shore Drive.
Shore Drive was
That was the fifth location.
Yeah. So, you get your first, it was my first bar. So I was excited, and I welcomed the challenge, and I was excited to be a part of the Chicho's partnership.
And what year was that?
2018.
All right, so
Yeah,
1 year
later.
after.
Year
Wow.
later.
Moved pretty quickly.
We did, and here we are.
Yeah.
8 years later, and we doubled the brand.
Has it really been 8 years already? Jeez, because
Been-
it feels like
been having
yesterday.
fun, Jake.
Yeah.
Been having fun. Time's
Feels like
flying.
yesterday when I was walking into this place here, I think in high school. It's crazy to think it's almost been a decade since, I guess, this partnership, this marriage has formed a bit.
Yeah. It's blossomed really well.
Yeah, so I guess fast forwarding to today, I mean, what's been on, we usually like to ask, but what's been on your mind as of currently? And it's just kind of like this was supposed to be our introduction, warm-up question, but I think we really just dove into it, into the meats of stuff. But this could be anything in just Chicho's life or where your current mindset is at,
For me?
Yeah.
For either of you. Yeah.
So for me, I've had a couple distractions in the last year with family, but more or less, I've kind of focused back on the brand that I feel is where I want to be. I love Mobile Pig-Nic, but I've been there since I'm 13. I'm 54 next week.
Jeez, yeah. Happy birthday.
So
Happy
I
early
sold
birthday.
majority of it to my daughter and then some of it to my brother-in-law, and they took over operations, and it continues to grow, continues to do well, and I'm very proud of them. So that leaves me to find out what I need to do because they don't need me anymore. So I put my time and faith into this facility here, VB National, and Chicho's. And that's the direction I'm going. I like people. I'm a leader, and I like to lead people. And, when I'm not around people, things just aren't good for me. So my medicine is, in life, is people.
Yeah.
I like my teammates. I like, the stores we have. They each have different personalities. They each have great management. And, we work weekly on them to make them better. There's a difference between management and leadership.
For sure.
And I feel like management's more of the details, running the operations, sticking to the protocol of how it's set up. Where leadership is you lead the people to the water and get them to drink it. Mm-hmm. So that's my job.
And that's one of the hardest things to do, I think, as a leader.
Jake, in today's society, in the last 5 years, things have transformed so rapidly.
Yeah.
The workforce is kind of not the same as it used to be. I feel like with Chicho's, we used to have people lined up wanting to work for us. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's people lined up to work anywhere anymore for any company. You got to go get them, recruit them, and sell them on what your business is all about to get them to join you and effectively work and produce. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't like your job, you're not going to perform properly at it. So leadership is getting you to like your job, care about your job, care about the people that pay your bills, and then, do the best you can to make the best product and service possible to keep your customers coming back. That's what we call success. They come back.
Nice.
I've had a lot of success at Mobile Pig-Nic with the service and the quality of food we provide. I really never had any money. I took this business from a garage with one employee doing $80,000 in revenue a year to a full-time staff of 20, 8 to 10 trucks, 13 smokers, all with no money from the banks, no advertisement, just giving out a good product,
good
service,
yeah.
working the word of mouth.
Yeah, his company is one of the few companies that can service over 450, 500 people in a timely manner.
Yeah, we can feed 400 or 500 people in 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, and not many catering companies can do that. And so it was a great relationship and a great partnership in getting with Mike. And now that we've kind of pivoted from our growth, mindset of trying to grow additional revenue with more brick and mortar locations. We've decided to focus more on food trailers.
Yeah.
We currently have a food trailer and working on ordering a second one, which I think Mike's relationships in the catering space can really, add a lot of value to that. And it's a simpler operation, versus a brick and mortar where we have to, minimum staff of, 8 to 15 employees. I mean, our current food trailer has 3 employees.
You could fit 3, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more diversified where, brick and mortar, you have to really get the people to come to you. Whereas the food trailer, we can bring the food to you. We can bring the party to you. And that's where a lot of my success at Mobile Pig-Nic came from, is because we're mobile. When you're stationary nowadays, times change.
Yeah.
So you have to change with the times or you get left behind.
Yeah. So the food trailer has been co-branded with his barbecue concept, the Pig Shop, and Chicho's Pizza. So we serve the barbecue and the pizza slices through the food trailer, and very simple. I mean, barbecue and pizza is probably one of the simplest menu items.
Simple, and 2 of America's favorite foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, for the future and what we're working on, I think that's an avenue that we're going to continue to explore. Hopefully we can solidify some contracts with some big companies and work out a 2-3 year deal where we can park the food trailer. And then, attend events, on the weekends that would work for us.
Yeah.
So
Fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the food trailer, daily, Monday through Friday right now at one of the shipyards, BAE. And, we're always looking to find other ways to better the food trailer. So, once we perfect that, then we'll get a second food trailer and move on.
All right. Cool.
We'll have growth.
If you guys don't mind me asking,
We don't mind.
my name is Lucas, by the way, for those who do not know, and we've met before, Mr.
Yes,
Mike.
sir.
But going back to what you said with the opportunity with Chicho's, after you felt like you've mastered your mobile ordering catering business, was that an opportunity that you felt you needed to seize, or was that something that just came up right place, right time?
I think both. I mean, when you're a business owner, you're always looking for opportunity. Even if it knocks, you still answer. Whether you take the opportunity or not, you always need to answer the door because you never know what the opportunity is going to be. And then it was the right time because we had just got together. We started to grow, and, it was next door to me. I like the brand. I grew up around it.
That makes it easier.
We got a lot of memories in these heads. Some of them we forgot. But the oceanfront was definitely a place where we hung out in our not childhoods, but, after we were old
Young
enough.
adulthood.
Yeah, young adulthood.
Yeah.
Wildhood.
So I want to dig into that. So what was your first story of Chicho's, your first memory of Chicho's, and then?
Probably going in there with 5 guys deep and getting my bill, and it's $20. And this is the circle of life right here, because I'm like, well, who's paying for all this? Because I just tipped them. Well, being an owner at Chicho's now, I know who's paying for it. So,
Jeez.
but, with the strong-minded ownership with Louie and Ed, they've, pretty much have a protocol in place with inventory, bar variances, food inventory, that we keep things in check, we keep things in line, and that keeps you the ability to grow. Because if you don't inspect, they won't respect. So we like to inspect our numbers, our operations, so that we see things aren't right, we have an opportunity to fix them. But this is a fun brand. Most of the time, you're dealing with happy people because they're coming to get what they want. They come to us for the brand, the spicy pizza, and the things that we've put on the menu.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I would say going down to the block, my first memories are going in there and drinking for free, I guess, if you would call it. Thanks, Lou.
That was before my time. That was definitely before my time.
I'm curious. So, what was your guys' first impressions of each other? I guess when you first met, and then when you reconnected.
I mean, we hung out. I mean, he lived in College Park, and I lived in Charlestown, and we were had a lot of mutual friends. He wrestled, so I hung out with a bunch of wrestlers and soccer players. And the only reason why he hung out with, your Uncle Rodney is because Rodney was a skater, surfer back then, and hung out with his girlfriend at the time. But we would definitely cross paths,
We all
parties.
had our own groups, but there were so many parties and activities going on together. All our groups would
Intermingle.
Intermingle,
yeah.
and we'd see each other. And it's a little different nowadays. You're not going to go around and see the parties we were having at high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're much more cliquey now.
Yeah, you guys are
We
on.
don't intermingle as much as
You're having
you
your
guys
party
do.
on your phone.
Yeah.
We were
whole
having
world
keg
is on their
stands and 200 and 300 throwdowns till the cops came.
Who had the better parties? You
Louie,
did?
when we got no to you, they were throwing down in the frat houses.
Oh, geez. Did you ever go to those?
Yeah. One thing about Lou, we always knew he was going to be a step ahead of everybody. He was always business minded, and
No, I just had the pleasure of working in the bar business back then, so I was always the host with, entertaining.
he was the
folks.
connection. If you had to wait in line, where's Louie?
So I wonder, did you witness Uncle Rodney get into that whole debacle with the keg getting stolen? Were you there at that night? I don't know if my dad knows what night I'm referring
I
to.
was not.
Yeah,
If I
no.
was, I probably don't remember.
Because I know the wrestlers were all there laughing at him, or that whole group
Yeah,
of
because
people.
I mean that story is probably for another time. But because I hung out with the wrestling team, most of them wrestled at ODU, and they lived on 42nd Street, and I lived on the corner of Parker and 42nd Street. But
Crime spot.
yeah. But yeah, that was that's where
Different time.
We were popular growing up. Everybody knew who we were. It was
Yeah.
great.
yeah, it was a good time.
I mean, I loved going to school because I could see all my friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'd be
And
social.
then,
Would you have said that back then when you were a kid?
oh yeah, I loved going to school. I mean, except for 30 days a year, they gave us 30 days, and I took all 30.
Yeah, me too.
It was like vacation. You get.
I mean, school was more of a
It's
social
a social hangout for
social
us.
network thing. I mean, I didn't do well in school. I was a C. Well, actually, I take that back. I was a C plus student because I started partying in in high school. I mean, I was
We started getting it on
honor
in 10th,
roll,
11th
straight
grade.
A student in junior high, and then started partying in high school. And my GPA went from above a 3 to to a 2.
Would you have changed that? Would you have done anything different?
No, because that, I mean,
I always remember school. They broke down your grade, and I remember 10% of our grade was always homework. And I was like, well, the best I'm going to get in this class is a 90 because I ain't doing no damn homework. I'm going home, play, skateboard, surf, hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But I got through school with a C,
Yeah.
and the rest is on me because I went to TCC for a little bit, and I would sit in class and just know I'm not going to use any of this knowledge he's given me in real life situations. So I took it upon myself to create Kroc University, and I still attend there. You go to school every day as a business owner, and it's your job to learn, nobody else's. If you want to succeed, it's up to you.
Gotcha.
Nobody holds your hand anymore nowadays. If you want to be successful, you want to be financially well off, it's up to you, nobody else. It's all your actions and your doing.
You are responsible for
Yep. If you want it, you can have it. It's there. But don't tell a guy like me you can't,
Yeah.
because I've been through it. I've been sitting in the chair wondering where I'm going to pay my next bill, how I'm going to get payroll. And those are growing pains you go through to get on the road to success.
The roller coaster to
Yeah.
success.
It's a very trying time, and you have to be mentally strong.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure Louie's been the same way. It
And I
ain't
think
all
he-
fun and joy.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, and I think he probably gets a lot of that too from, my assessment would be because he was a wrestler, starting in junior high, he's the only one on the mat. So he can't rely on anyone but himself. And so I think that wrestling mentality kind of was ingrained to him to take that into the circle of life and being able to, take on any obstacle that comes his way.
Yeah.
When the coach says you got beat, you can't say, no, I didn't. You got beat because you were on there by yourself on the mat. So whether you did your moves or didn't do your moves, you got beat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You.
And that's just the truth. Yeah.
Truth. Sometimes it hurts, but.
Yeah. So that kind of is a good segue to my next question of what kind of inspired you or motivated you to pursue, I guess, being a business owner or being a restaurateur? What kind of led you to this path?
An entrepreneur?
Restaurateur.
Oh,
Yeah, restaurant. I consider myself a restaurateur. Yeah. For me, I always liked cooking. I always liked leading. I feel like I've been a leader since I was a kid. Of course, we all like money. But, my first real job, I followed my brother's footsteps and got employed at Costco. And I worked there. I really liked it, was making pretty good money. And then one day the boss calls me in the office and lays me off. I wasn't cool with that. So I had to go find another job. I was delivering pizzas at Domino's. Boss calls me back, said, we have room for you, come on back. I was ecstatic, I came back. He laid me off again. I said, that's it, no more. And then I was just at the right place at the right time. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I was going on a trip with an owner of this business, and he basically ran tours for fans. I went on a trip and helped him. That became a career for me for about 10 years. I worked with him, grew his brand, made it successful. Then I branched out on my own. Was doing pretty good till 9/11 came. Put a little damper in the travel industry. Yeah. So I pivoted because I had Mobile Pig-Nic on the back burner. I was just bought it to have it because I didn't know if I wanted to travel the rest of my life. And when I pivoted, I said, I'm just going to grow this. I had one employee, one truck, wasn't really doing anything. So it was my job to make it happen. I made it happen.
Scale it up, yeah.
Yeah, it took me a couple years. I had, a couple demons to get rid of, a couple hiccups here and there, financial struggles, you name it, I went through it.
Jeez.
But at the end of the day, business owners, leaders, we don't quit. Never quit. If you want it, you can have it. Might take a little longer to get it, but you got to strive to the goal. The end goal is success. And for me, success is in the eyes of the beholder. Just because you have a lot of money in the bank doesn't mean you're successful. You could be miserable as miserable gets. Yeah. That's not success to me. Yeah. We get one walk on this world, one life, and the goal is to be happy. If you don't like your job, don't do your job. Find a new job. Pivot. Mm-hmm. I love my job. I love the people I work with. Nobody worked for Mike Crockford. We work together. I never introduce people as Jake, he works for me. We work together. Of course, till something happens, and I got to step up and take care of business. Yeah. But
I step aside, Jake.
Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty easygoing, easy to work with. I really admire this guy right here. When we got together, I felt like he was the one that would better my life, my finances, and my world. And he has. He's done that. I've learned from him. I'm sure he's learned from me. We've learned together. We've been through a few tough times, but we've stuck to it. We've never quit. We've come out. At the end, I feel successful. But like I said, success is in the eyes of the beholder. Some people might not think it's successful. I do.
Yeah.
It's interesting hearing his story, right? Because when you ask a question about, how we became an entrepreneur or how we became small business owners or restaurateurs or whatever you want to call it, his story is very similar to mine. We didn't choose it. It chose us, mm-hmm. right?
I agree.
And we just kept doing, right? Mm-hmm. We had jobs. I've had, maybe like 3 jobs in my life. and he had jobs, and then it got to a point where, you don't have, when someone controls your financial freedom, so to speak, meaning they sign your check, that's when I realized that, when you get laid off or you get terminated and things don't work out, that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to go do what I'm doing and, do it myself. And, at the end of the day, I didn't know what business it was going to be. I thought it was going to be in banking, financial services, owning my own movie theater, owning my own sandwich shop or whatever it was, because those are the things that I was working at. But at the end of the day, my end result was I'm going to sign my own check. And so, and that's what drove us, because we've had experiences where, it's not a very good feeling when you get laid off and there's nothing you can do. And you're like, okay, I got to figure out how to not feel that way again. Right?
Correct.
And so, at a young age, we were just trying things. And that's what I would encourage everybody, keep trying things that you want to be good at and hone in on a skill. And eventually that opportunity will come knocking. And then it's up to you to decide when you open that door if you wanted to, take that opportunity or not.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Yeah, being, growing up, opportunity, fool me once, fool me twice. You don't get a third with me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what, on the second time I got laid off, I was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, and
I'm going to control my own destiny.
Yeah, and it was about necessity. We knew we had to figure out how to support ourselves, and we knew that we didn't want someone signing our check. And at the end of the day, that's what we work towards.
It's the difference between ownership and employee. Employee gets a check signed. I haven't known where my paycheck's coming since I was 22 years old. I make it.
That's right.
Okay?
Awesome.
We don't get paychecks. We get distributions. Mm-hmm. So if you don't do well, you don't make bank, you don't get distributions. Equals you don't get paid.
Yeah.
So you put your fortune in your own hands, it's a little different than going to work every week, whether you perform, you don't perform, you're still getting a paycheck. Like, my brothers, they both work in corporate America. Ain't no way. You ain't controlling this guy. They're controlled. The atmosphere is controlled. Their daily activities are controlled.
The roadmap, yeah.
Yeah, I always found it weird when, as an adult, you still get told when you have to go eat lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I'm not knocking it by any means. It's each his own, just not for my own.
Yeah.
Good. I'm my own human being. Louie's his own human being, and we do our own thing.
Yeah.
Human beings being human.
That's right.
That's beautiful. Well, we're coming towards the end. Kind of time flew by, and there's a lot more questions I had, but we'll try and wrap it up here. But the last segment we like to do is one moment of goodness of the week, one thing you're looking forward to in the future, and one aim or goal you're working towards right now. So I can repeat. We'll start with just one moment of goodness from the week that you experienced and as a source of inspiration for people.
This week?
Yeah, or this past week.
I can tell you right now, it's this meeting we had today.
All right, sweet.
I see the effort that Ed's put in, Louie's put in, and the teams have put in. And when we started this format of a meeting, some of these locations numbers were just god-awful, and we're looking at finances and knowing why. Well, we reeled them back in, got a program together, a system, and we implemented it. Ed, every Tuesday, half the brand comes in. And the next week, the other half of the brand comes in. We give everybody the time, show them how we can help them, where their needs are, where they're excelling at, their strengths, their weaknesses. And today, I saw some of these brands 6 weeks ago have completely flipped and took their jobs seriously. I don't know if it was us lacking the structure of what they needed from us, but nonetheless, we got the format down. They've responded, and it was a beautiful thing today.
Awesome. It's good to hear.
Yeah, I would agree with Mike. That was good to see some of the locations and their numbers turn around and having them make decisions based on numbers objective decisions on scheduling payroll, making your food purchases, and you can see how the numbers are swinging that are more favorable now, which is a good thing. Now, and the next step is how do we continue to maintain that, where they don't get complacent or comfortable, like, okay, we've done it 2 weeks in a row now. This is what we expect 52 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
So
Keep your
that's
foot
the
on
trick.
the pedal.
That's the trick.
Yeah. And then the next one was one thing you're looking forward to in the future, and then one aim and dream you're working towards right now.
For me, the future, I would.
It could
It's
be
always,
anything,
as
too.
you know, our mindset is growth. I'd like to grow us a little bit more, especially on the food trailer division. And then, I always have a goal. This is like school to me because we still have report cards every week when we come into this meeting.
Yeah.
Whether, I'm running the business or my management's running the business, it's our report card and it reflects on me and how I do as a owner and a leader. And I take it seriously. And lately, my report cards haven't been that good. So my goal is to better my report cards, be more involved with my staff and my teams, and get back to what I love to do, and that's be around people and work with people.
Beautiful. Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the food trailer, getting these numbers aligned, and my goal is still trying to open up a Chicho's in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So I'll keep talking about it because it'll somehow manifest itself into existence.
100%. The more you talk about something, the more you share it with others, I
Yeah.
think the more likely it is to hold yourself accountable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then, everybody can talk. Talk's cheap, doesn't cost a dime. But if it's a goal, it's your job to, obtain it.
And then,
Nobody's going to obtain your goals for you nowadays. The handouts are over.
And then one last curveball before we do our one-word close. How is it working with family in the family business, especially, with how deep you guys work with your family, I guess?
Man, I have an amazing family. I have an amazing wife, 2 amazing children, daughters. One of them runs my Mobile Pig-Nic. My other one's a little 9-year-old entrepreneur trying to make $1, making bracelets, sitting up in
Is
my...
she the one who made like $160?
She's made 187 and 128, 2 weeks.
Can't even make
But, I teach my children what schools don't, and that's life.
Life skills. Yeah.
Life skills. And I want them to do well in life because, whatever I've accomplished in life, financially, monetarily, they ain't getting. I'm going to have a good time in this one life. I'll leave them businesses. I'm going to try to take care of my money on the way out. Have a good time. Like I said, we live once, but, in this industry, to touch on that, Jake, it's hard to find. And I hate to speak for Louie, but he has an amazing wife as well. It's hard to find a woman that allows what we do and trusts the process.
That's a good point.
It's difficult because, it's the bar business.
Yeah, we got to get the wives onto the podcast now. I didn't think about it.
But behind
segment.
behind every successful man, in my eyes, is a very powerful woman, and that's our wives. And without them, we're not here.
Yeah.
Our success is not based on what we do. It's based on what we all do. So if you make any kind of decision in life, for me, it's marriage. It has to be a good one for you to be able to focus and succeed in everything you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, my sentiments exactly. Working with family, it's tough at times, but, I wouldn't have it any other way. What I think about, the statistic that your mom gave me that one time when your kids turn 18, that you only get 7% of their time, or it was like 10% or lower. Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of like,
so low.
Yeah, and the fact that I have the opportunity to work with you as a young adult, and hopefully we'll continue to work together, the amount of time that we'll spend together, it's going to not be that 10%
It'll be the
or less,
opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, being able to spend time and, I don't know what movie it was, but maybe it was a Netflix series or something where Jerry Jones purposely said that he was creating jobs. So on his deathbed, the only people in that room were basically his family versus his lawyers when he built his empire.
Wow.
And then his family knew exactly how to run the business. And, if he was passing away, it was a room full of family, not business associates. Because the one thing that people, when they're on their dying deathbed, one of the first things they say, I wish I spent more time with my family. And so we get the best of both worlds, in my opinion. We get to work, we get to play together, we get to travel, we get to spend a lot of time together. And the only way you can really do that is incorporating your family life into your work life. And when you're a small business owner, you do get the opportunity to create that environment, which is good. I mean, your mom's been involved with the business since day one, and it's one of the reasons why, I married up and, someone that's smarter than me. She's a beautiful woman. And she did a heck of a job raising you and your sisters, and, the support system that, she gave me and grounded me to do what I was able to do, speaks exactly what Mike was saying. You need that support system. Right. And so, working with family, some people, look at it that it's tough and they couldn't do it. I worked with your Uncle Rodney. I fired him. He quit. And then we ended up working together. And so, but the family dynamic is, it's a balancing act, and you just got to have compromise and communicate. Really, is the solution to make sure it's successful.
Definitely give and take.
Yeah.
It's integral to everything. Like, it's how you treat one thing is how you treat everything.
Yeah.
We travel, we take them on vacations, but they accept that. They know when we're on vacation, we got job to do still. Because that's why we're on the vacation, because we have a job.
Yeah. Well, we're still working 24/7, but you got to pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
business calls. Yeah.
So hopefully that answers your question.
I think it was a beautifully written or beautifully spoken answers from both of you guys. Mm-hmm. But we'll end it off with our one-word close. So what that means is we just think of one word that tries to encapsulate the whole conversation we had, at least from your perspective. And I'll let my dad start off, and I'll have Lucas too hop in there too.
Grateful. It's my one word.
Nice.
I was going to say that, but I'm going to say, I'd say grateful. I'm very grateful, thankful, and blessed.
Yeah. All right. 3 words. Awesome. Going
I
beyond.
tripled your request.
Yeah, you always go above and beyond with service.
Hey, man.
Too. Yeah.
We don't deal with the minimum.
Yep.
We don't even deal with minimum wage.
My 3 words are then grace, faith, and family.
Wow.
There you go.
There you go.
And then I'll say marriage. I think that's a big one.
Because we are married to our jobs, and we are married to our wives and our families.
Yeah.
Right on.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
Have a good Lenten season. If you
Really cool,
celebrate,
guys.
Good
Thank you
fasting.
for inviting me.
Of
I
course.
enjoyed this.
Love y'all. Love everyone for tuning in to our episode here. Great crew we got.
All right.
All right.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Peace.
Auf Wiedersehen.